Good day mga ka-learners! Welcome back to another lesson. Natutunan na natin ang mga karapatan ng kabataan sa libreng edukasyon. Ngayon naman ay tingnan natin ang mga karapatan ng kababaihan. Are you familiar with the rights of women? Do you know that women have rights like men do? Do you know that apart from biology, men and women are basically equals? Sadly, this is something that is not understood by many people in our society. Maraming kababaihan ay inaabuso, hindi tinatrato ng pantay, o tinatratong mas mababa kaysa sa kalalakihan, babae man o lalaki. Para maayos ito at mapaganda ang sitwasyon, simulan natin sa mas malinaw ng pagkakaalam at pag-intindi sa mga karapatan ng kababaihan. After this lesson, we would like you to either enjoy your rights as a woman, if you are one, or help promote women's rights. Let's start this lesson with a short conversation between Elena Cortez and Mr. Perez. Elena wants to work as a gasoline attendant at a station in Novaliches, Quezon City. She was interviewed by Mr. Perez, the owner. This is a portion of her interview. I'm very sorry, Miss Cortez. I cannot hire you for this kind of work because it is for men only. But sir, I can do the work very well. In fact, I am used to doing men's work. I am a good mechanic and driver. I have successfully completed TESDA's car mechanic trade test. I'm sure I can handle whatever task you will give me in this gasoline station. I'm really sorry, but I cannot take you in. As I said, the work is for males only. Why don't you apply somewhere else? Maybe you can find another job that's more suitable for a woman. It's an awkward interview to listen to, don't you think? To see if you understood the story, answer the following questions. Number 1, what is the story about? Number 2, Elena has the required work experience and trade test certificate to work as a gasoline attendant, but Mr. Perez refused to take her in. Why? Number 3, if you were Elena, what would you do? Why? Number 4, what do you think are the reasons why there is discrimination against women in our society, particularly why employers prefer men rather than women in their companies? Number 5, give some rights that many women in our society have by law but do not really enjoy. Compare your answers with those in the matching answer key for this lesson when you log in to your LMS account. Make sure you keep them handy for the rest of the lesson as they will help you better understand the situation of women all over the world. Women's rights are not limited to our country. It is a global movement that has been around since before the First World War. Throughout history, women have proven themselves as valuable members of society, so much so that governments all over the world now have their own laws concerning women's rights. The United Nations Declaration on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women asserts the principle of non-discrimination and proclaims that all humans are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and that everyone is entitled to all rights and freedoms set forth therein without distinction of any kind, and that includes one's gender. To support these, we have Republic Act No. 9710, also known as the Magna Carta for Women, signed by then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in 2009. The Magna Carta for Women, at its core, is a comprehensive women's human rights law that seeks to eliminate discrimination through the recognition, protection, fulfillment, and promotion of the rights of Filipino women, especially those who belong to the marginalized sectors of society. It's a framework of rights that is based on international law. That is, the provisions in the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW. Some of its provisions include increasing the number of women in government to achieve a 50-50 balance, leave benefits of 2 months with full pay based on how much an employee earns for women who undergo surgery caused by gynecological disorders, non-discrimination in employment in the military and law enforcement, including same promotional privileges and opportunities as men, equal access and elimination of discrimination in education, scholarships, and training, specifically to get rid of being expelled from school or work due to out-of-marriage pregnancy, non-discriminatory and non-derogatory portrayal of women in media and film, and equal status given to men and women on the titling of land and issuance of stewardship contracts and patents. In addition to leveling the playing field for Filipino men and women, it also establishes the responsibility of the government to take actions in order to end discrimination against women. It's one of the reasons why police stations now have a women's desk, which serves as a safe space for women to file complaint without fear or prejudice. For more information, you can visit the website of the Philippine Commission on Women at pcw.gov.ph. That's the end of this introductory lesson to women's rights. Before we go, make sure you remember the following. Number 1, it is the right of women to be given as much opportunity as men to find employment. An applicant's gender should never be used as a basis for hiring or rejecting them. Number 2, it is also the right of women to be promoted at work. This means women can be leaders in any field they choose. Number 3, women have the right to be free from prostitution, rape, or abuse by their husbands and other acts of cruelty and injustice. Number 4, women have the right to good health in order for them to become productive members of society. Number 5, women of all ages have the right to an education. Number 6, it is the right of a pregnant female worker, either from the public or private sector, an informal worker, a voluntary contributor, or a female athlete who has paid at least 3 months of their SSS contributions within a year prior to giving birth to avail of a maternity leave for 105 days after live childbirth, with full pay based on her average daily salary. If you would like to learn more about women's rights, watch out for our module entitled Fighting for Women's Rights, which goes into more detail on issues surrounding women's rights. And that's it for this lesson, mga ka-learners. We'll see you on our next episode.